awful. All right,
I was hoping for a more solid smack on that.
Okay. Obviously, welcome to another episode. We'll pop up who these people are, like right about here-ish, give or take. I don't know. He'll look it up. Yeah, very. What I want to hop into right out of the gate, nothing too melancholy, I hope. The Pope died.
Yep.
So let's.
Wow.
88 years old.
Right. So how does anybody know why we have a Pope? I don't know if anybody here is devoutly Catholic, right? That's the religion that he was, correct?
Do I look Catholic?
Yeah.
I'm asking for help. Catholic?
Yes, the Pope was Catholic. He was
Catholic.
originally from Argentina. He died at 88 years old, the day after he met J.D. Vance.
Yes. The day after Easter.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy.
the day after he met J.D. Vance. Yeah.
That's wild.
Vice President scared the Catholics and he died.
Canceled. If we don't have anything else after that, we'll just segue.
Pope died. Okay, bye.
Wanted to talk about, we had a pretty cool, interesting conversation yesterday at my godfather's house for Easter, amongst other men that have gone across these avenues of like raising their own families, having their own kids, right? One has 3, oldest is 18, or youngest is 18. Me obviously being less, I don't want to say experienced in that, but like I'm a lot earlier on in my journey. The topic was brought up about having absolutes in your life. There are a couple of things that he thinks everybody would go back and change, or everybody has their own thing that they would go back and maybe manipulate a little bit to seeing the outcome of those decisions now. Kind of like a regret, but not so my life changed forever because I pulled the trigger, right? But one of those like, I wouldn't lie ever again because then my integrity's gone forever kind of deal. Or I would have never started drinking at 18, you know what I mean? Because now I'm an alcoholic kind of deal. So not so regretful or remorseful, but just things that if I knew better then, I would be doing better now, kind of deal.
What,
So
like invest in Bitcoin in 2010, like
sure, yeah, absolutely an avenue of travel in that conversationally. Anybody want to take the cake as far as if they've got one or one applicable? Bitcoin being a pretty damn good, right? I mean,
Dude, I wish I knew about that. If I could go back in time with the knowledge that I have now, unstoppable.
betting on a whole bunch of
Oh, dude, yeah.
Super Bowls and Stanley Cup finals.
Be like, oh, hey, look, the Cubs are going to win the World Series on this day. Or
Nobody would fucking believe you.
108 years, man.
Nobody would believe you. The Cubs
Invest in
wouldn't believe you.
Bitcoin back in 2010 or whatever. Just back when it had that initial drop off, people were selling like crazy. Just buy up everything. Like, here's $1,000. I'm going to take like 300 Bitcoin and
At its lowest, we'll put that stat in there. At its lowest, what Bitcoin was versus what it is today.
Yeah.
Do the same thing for gold. Let's see gold 20 years ago, or at least 10 years ago. I was 18, right? So see what that is. I know it's upwards of $2,000 an ounce right now, which is just insane. Do you have one to add, or
No, not really.
no? All right. Well,
I'm still at that stage where I haven't made any decisions I regret yet, so.
valid, but you haven't made any bad decisions yet. Not necessarily like life affecting,
No.
right?
Slaving away, that's the only bad thing that affects is my joints.
Yeah, I mean valid, but you also got into a pretty reputable workforce at a very young age.
Yeah.
I don't want to say very young. You got into the work field at an appropriate time.
16.
But you got into an old man's profession, or a working class man's profession, as a lot of kids, I say kids lightly, get into like washing dishes somewhere at a restaurant, or you're bussing tables straight to diesel mechanic. What inspired that career choice?
All the other ones, like when we had to pick vocationals, they went through a list of them, and all the other ones sounded pretty lame.
All the other classes sucked.
Yeah, I had no interest in woodwork or auto shop because I hate cars. But they said diesel, and I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. So I started doing that, and then for like a week, I didn't even show up to it because I was like, I'm just going to do it for the credits. And then after that, they were like, no, you got to go. And then I started going, and now I have been a diesel mechanic for 4 years.
What was your light switch point? You were like, this is it. Was it Vogue or after Vogue?
That was vocational.
Okay.
Yeah, because after Vogue made me hate it. You know.
As all good professions do.
Yeah.
Well, when it started to become work, you hated it?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, when it's fun, like when I do shit to my truck on my off days, it's a great
Right.
time.
Right. Have you gotten to a point where you think you're done learning?
Done learning?
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I still feel like I don't know shit, even though I'm one of the smarter people there, I'll say.
Well, see, when I was
Hope nobody from
back on
that.
the fire department, I was told one of the greatest pieces of advice from one of the old timers that I've ever gotten, and that's the day you think you know it all is the day you need to hang up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's it. You need to hang up your stuff because you can learn something from every interaction of be a simple job that you've done 1,000 times, but there's this one little thing that's changed and it completely just turns everything completely different. And
Yeah.
I
you can
think
learn from everything.
I think that's two clocks or two hands on the same clock. I agree with you. If you think you know everything, it's time to get out of that profession. But if you think you can figure everything out, let that also be a point of reference to like.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you
Keep
can
going.
if you can figure,
Right.
you can look at something and figure out, okay, this is what needs to be done. That's
Kind
a
of like
very,
self-diagnose.
very important,
Right.
good thing. But like the minute that you're like, oh yeah, I know all of this stuff.
I've mastered this. I don't think. I feel that's a pretty arrogant point to get to. I would totally respect more the I can fix anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Definitely.
that kind of accredits you at all of the things that you've done without discrediting the amount of work it takes to get there.
Oh yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on it. Moving forward, lesser advertised news. The women's USA hockey team took it to Canada last night in overtime. Scored one of the coolest goals I think I've ever seen. Bank shot from like the blue line. Somebody was there to catch and like deflect right into the net. One, I want to emphasize again, beat Canada.
At their own fucking game.
Yeah, your sport. The women beat you. Anyway, thought that was pretty based. That they took it to us in the Four Nations face-off. Pretty, like, they didn't boo our anthem. I guess they were booing Trump, but, like, potato, right? Either way, you threw an egg at my house. To segue, going into education, since we have not necessarily 3 different generations here, but I feel like we can all speculate differently as we've all had different experiences in that we've all gone to public school, right?
Yep.
Obviously, our all 3 of our career paths show that to be true. But what it was like, so there was, I believe it's over and done with now. I could be wrong. The current public schools curriculum, cursive isn't a thing anymore, which kind of baffles me because, like, granted, I've only signed like 4 checks in my entire life, which to like people 20 years older than me is fucking insane. Like they paid for their house with a check.
For me
right?
because I still could, but it's easier to do it online. I still write checks for rent. Like, I've done checks for I've done checks at the grocery store. They look at me like I'm absolutely nuts, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't know why, but I forgot my wallet, my debit card at home, but I have
so
a checkbook.
happen to have a checkbook.
Don't know why. I honestly think I had just picked up a book of checks because at the time I could only submit rent with a check. And so I had the checkbook and I was like, oh, okay, shit, I forgot my wallet. I have a checkbook. God, I look like an old man right now.
This will be a good one. Have you ever written a check?
No.
Born in
04?
97. I've written 4.
92. And I paid my rent with checks exclusively for like 4 years.
I have to put my signature on papers at work every day. I'm doing.
And
like,
you still run cursive.
It's cursive, but my idea of cursive, since I learned it in 3rd grade, is just writing my name without picking up a pen at all.
I mean, honestly, that's
I mean,
about
that's,
what it is.
that's
Yeah.
pretty verbatim. Now, you haven't, like, goofed it, made it your own.
I put a little pizzazz on the A.
You just get the
I made mine a
flourish.
star.
A star?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I do my cursive A's for the last name, it's
Yeah.
right.
Or I'll just
Okay.
put.
Yeah. I
just
mean,
put-
so like when I'm doing my last name, you know, it starts with an S, and trying to do the actual official,
We got a lot of notes.
the official cursive S that you're supposed to do is something like that.
Yeah, it looks
Doing
like a
all
treble
that
clef,
shit,
bro.
man.
Okay, so back when I
Backwards
was
8 with a tail.
a music nerd back in high school, I used to do a treble clef, and I was like, ha ha ha, it's cool. And then I got to college and was like, wow, that's fucking dumb.
I haven't stopped doing
So
this.
like now it's just
That's too fancy.
Valid. Have you? But we take it a step
Your turn,
farther.
your turn.
We take it a step farther. Have you ever seen a doctor's signature?
Oh, true. Yeah,
Straight
It's a
line.
fucking squiggle.
it's a squiggle.
That's all
It's
it
a
is.
squiggle.
You wrote me a prescription for fucking Vyvanse with a squiggle. God.
Dude, shout out to the freaking pharmacy techs. They're like the real unsung heroes because, like, you can look at a squiggle and figure out what it is. Good on you.
But I think they're just matching up squiggles.
That's true.
That squiggle is that squiggle. Here's your Xanax.
They've got just a book somewhere of different squiggles with what they actually means, like trying to translate freaking hieroglyphics.
And nobody's gonna read some of these doctors with like 80 fucking adjectives in their middle name. Like nobody. And if the people that can pronounce it have been working for him for more than 6 years.
That's true.
Fluently, right?
But yeah, back to the whole cursive thing. Like,
Right.
Like my kid is in school, granted, kindergarten, but just now learning how to officially write their name and whatnot. But
Gonna
like,
sign for a house real soon.
yeah, they're not gonna have cursive.
Now,
And when I sold my truck a few years ago, the girl that came and bought it, she was 18 at the time. She didn't know cursive. Like, I was like, there ain't no way. She's like, no, seriously. She pulled out her driver's license. You have to sign on your driver's license. It was printed.
oh my god.
I was like, okay. So, I mean, I took pictures of the truck. I took pictures of the bill of sale. I took pictures of her driver's license and her.
Yeah.
Just to be like, look, her with her driver's license, she signed it, see the signature here and here. They matched it. Okay, yeah. So,
Yours now.
anything tries to pop up about it, be like, no. This is all, legal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, of course.
but like, she was 18 at the time. That was 5 years ago, something like that.
Wild.
But like, no cursive.
Right.
And like, I know how to do cursive.
Yeah.
Do I ever write in cursive anymore? No. Well, yes. Like,
Signing for tattoos or
Well, yeah.
4473s.
but like, perfect example. My kid has been losing teeth. Okay.
I know where you're going with this.
Tooth Fairy comes along, and so I thought it would be cool the first time that my kid lost a tooth is I would go and I would write a note from the Tooth Fairy. And I'm like, they know my handwriting. My kid knows my handwriting.
Yep.
I can't write, and if I were
Yep.
to try to write with my left hand,
Yep.
it would look worse than what the rest of the kindergarten class is doing. Talk to my wife. Nope, kid knows my wife's handwriting. How are we gonna do this? Big brain moment.
Just get a
Gonna
stamp.
start writing in cursive. I had to write that note about 4 times before it was actually
Real
legible.
slow.
Yeah, and it's finally gotten to the point now, Christmas, Easter, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm getting to where I can actually write the notes again. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm in elementary school, middle school again, writing essays, doing this stuff in cursive. But
Kid
it's like,
takes it to school, like, teacher, look what, and it's just judging. So
oh
hard.
yeah. Well, I mean, her teacher's younger than I am,
Lord.
so it's like,
Isn't that fucking, like, we're the parents now.
I know
Like,
that's scary.
the anxiety that I
Let me
don't
adult.
have. The anxiety I don't have sitting down at a parent-teacher conference knowing I am not the one that's going to get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, it's like, I
What do you
know,
mean
man.
you don't know how to read?
But no, I definitely think they need to be able to read and write in cursive because I mean, if you look at all of our official documents,
Right.
Official historical, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, all of that is written in cursive. And so if you cannot read cursive, you cannot write cursive,
Right.
what
How do you
hope
do
do
it?
you have of going through and actually
do
being
you
able
do
to
it?
formulate your own opinions on stuff like read it, interpret it yourself, instead of somebody else
Right.
reads it to you, and how do you know what
That is
you're,
a great
you know,
point.
like, but anyway, that's kind of,
A small thing that I thought about in all of this. I don't think I'm the only one at this table. Maybe I got all the kinks out of our mom when we did this, but have you ever been sitting there doing homework and like your parents are 0.2 seconds away from a crash out because you're doing basic math and you can't figure it out to the tune of your mom, dad, whoever's sitting there going for the 19th time.
2+2.
If Jimmy has 5 motherfucking apples, and now you're freaking out because you're just trying to give them the answer that they want to fucking hear, so you don't get smacked across the fucking room.
See, I was fortunate in the fact that I'm
7.
good at math, but my downfall was English, language arts.
Motherfucker couldn't read.
I mean, I read great, okay? I was reading Goosebumps in kindergarten. I was that kid, okay?
I got the goosebumps smacked into me.
I can go through and I can tell you if a sentence is correct, why it sounds correct, I can speak correctly. Can I sit there and tell you what the predicate is and the adjectives and the... Hell no!
I can't.
Can I speak coherently? Yes!
What I still think back, I'll do a little shout out here to Miss Martin. You know who you are, right? Fantastic English language arts teacher. I still, even writing like Facebook posts, will sit there and punctuate it and like look into it because we all did it as a class. Is the comma supposed to come before the parentheses or after or this or that or whatever, you know?
Okay, no, that
Subject
still
and
messes
relation.
me up. If you're putting parentheses
I
in
pay
there,
so much attention
punctuation
to it.
within that, no, that messes me
Because
up.
typically
to
it's
this
like a
day.
rant on Facebook and I have to avoid the grammar Nazis, right? But,
No, because I had her as a teacher too, and I'm pretty sure for like our final, I turned in a drawn picture instead of a written story, and I got an A for it. So
she was a great teacher. She probably understood what you were talking about.
I expressed it through imagery. So
I
There you go.
what a fantastic teacher. Big shout outs to her. Whatever she's doing now, I know she's doing a great job doing it because she was such a vibe. Always positive, always upbeat.
yeah, she was cool.
Big shouts to her.
I had a couple of English teachers that were like that. I had one English teacher I could not stand.
Cue my gov and econ teacher that never gave up on me.
Can I talk shit about teachers?
I know who you're talking about with that one. Yes.
Jess Munden.
Uh-huh.
Hella hard for you. I established my own hate and discontent for the federal government on my own, but you helped.
Right?
Cheers to you.
And political opinions may differ, and we may never see eye to eye on that. However, still respect you as a human being
Yeah,
because
that lady-
you are a phenomenal person, and don't let anybody tell you different.
That lady never gave up on me.
Oh yeah,
Ever.
she was a phenomenal teacher.
I gave up on me, bro. That lady never gave up on me.
Anyway, you had something.
Yes.
Sorry, we talked over you.
No, I wasn't allowed to talk about it.
I don't think it's the
I don't know him by name, so it doesn't matter.
best idea.
This was like 4 years ago.
Was it? Would I know the teacher?
No.
Okay.
I definitely.
I don't know. I feel like there's oh, here's a dick teacher, but like, how much of a sack were you in his class?
I know it wasn't in his class. That's the thing.
Okay.
It started with taking my hat off. That's what.
I
That's
mean,
what it
you're not
was.
supposed to wear it in school, but
Okay. All right.
here's why I was an asshole about breaking
Seven
fucking
or more.
rules.
Right? So like 2 weeks prior, he'd asked me to take my hat off, and I took it off. Right. So this time, I was walking upstairs. I have my hat on. I'm going to fucking algebra. Or
So
something.
hold on, we'll pause here. Walking up the stairs, knowingly and willingly breaking the rules that I've already been corrected on.
Okay, well, it also depends. Was this like at the beginning of the day, or
Yes.
was this in the middle of the school
No, this
day?
was like the first
Like your
class
first
of the
class.
day,
So you
man.
theoretically could have still been on your way to your locker to put your shit away.
Correct. So
Okay.
Context.
Yeah,
going
sure.
to algebra class, and this time a different teacher, this chick, was like, "Take your hat off, please." And I'm like, "Okay." No. I always took my hat off, and they're like, "Fuck you." You know, I took it off, and this guy saw me again. The guy who was across the hall told me to take it off 2 weeks prior. He goes, "Hey, come here." I'm like, "Fuck, man."
Why did you go over there?
So I walked over there, and he's like, "How many times are we going to tell you to take that hat off?" And I was like, "I don't know. Twice?" So, I don't know. And he was like, I see you up here every day. I ask you to take that hat off, and you just put it back on. Does it not matter to you? And just went on this whole thing. What's your name? Show me your student ID. I was like, I don't got it. He goes, why don't you have it? It's in my truck. He goes, well, you're supposed to bring it in here with you. Give me your actual ID. So he took a picture of like my personal ID and told me that he's going to have a talk with the principal. So I met up with one of my buddies, Hayden, like halfway through the day. I'm like, hey man, I need you to take this from me real quick. I got a meeting later. I'm gonna get pulled into. Never said anything to me, but my last class of the day, I was a hall pass guy. I would go give people their attendance passes, and one of the notes was to a guy that was in the classroom right next to the guy that yelled at me. He was like, hey man, I just want to say you handled that really well. Like, thanks for listening. I know he came real hot at you, but you listened to him.
Hey, I know I was a piece of shit, and 5 minutes after I got done talking to you, I realized how I handled that wasn't the best fucking way to do it.
No, it was a different guy that said that to me. He watched the whole
Teacher?
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
He watched the whole thing, and I was like, yeah. And as he was talking to me, I have a hat on, which was so.
I clearly listened to all of the rules.
I never got the big stigma about wearing hats. I
don't get it.
feel naked without a hat on.
I don't get it, but at the same time, if it is a rule, I can understand for whatever reason,
principle.
it's a rule. But
Yeah.
it's a principle. You know, there's certain things in life that you may not agree with that you have to follow anyway, even though it's completely asinine and pointless. But you know, I can kind of see that like perpetuating. But at the same time, it's like it's just a fucking hat.
To an
Who cares?
extent, but if somebody walks past me wearing furry hands and feet and a tail, and I can't have my hat on, I'm
That's
putting
true.
the fucking hat on.
That's true. That's true.
You know?
I don't even want to open that can of worms. But
You can wear whatever you want, but if you're allowed to wear it, I'm gonna put my fucking hat on. That's as simple as that.
walk around with a freaking headband with cat ears on, then I should be able to wear my
I'm
flat
wearing
band.
fucking a snapback.
Where does the tail attach to?
If you grab it and pull, is it going to be like a clip or is it going to be a...
Yeah.
So we're gonna segue. Fuck.
No.
We're gonna credit this guy in our probably, I don't know, like right here, Steven. Thank you. There is a guy. So we're just calling it the Mexican Play-Doh reels. It is absolutely hysterical. We found this guy, I think earlier this morning when I woke up, and I watched 10 or 15 of these videos because it's just so good. He's got an Instagram. We'll throw his @ handle up here. I don't speak any Spanish. I can understand what cerveza means. I can get my way through some pretty elaborate Mexican menus, but I think the things, of course, Instagram doesn't want to cue me up. The craftsmanship this guy puts into making these little, it's essentially making army guys. When you were a kid, how you had like the little plastic didn't bend or opposable anything, and then you're making all the noise, and the guy would die, right, and he'd fall over. Helicopter flies over you, right? But he's doing it with molded Play-Doh.
Oh, so we're talking like claymation.
Low budget.
Low budget, so like Gumby back in the day.
But you can see his hands, right?
Okay.
It's just taking a video of him playing with it, basically.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Le dispares. Deja que arda. ¡Sargento, cúranos, cúranos! ¿Cómo se ve la herida, sargento? ¿Cómo se ve la herida? Se ve del carajo. Pero no cierre los ojos. No cierre.
But like,
Okay,
they're
okay.
all pretty intricate. Like he's got one
Yeah,
with a
like
battleship.
La verdad es que me gustó mucho el resultado. Es la primera vez que
It's Snoopy.
juego en plastilina.
So like the craftsmanship that he has, like just
¿Me
the...
oyes?
Shit, is that a tank?
It's a tank. I'll try to find the battleship one because it was just amazing.
Like, okay, so it's like, it's... You can tell it's like that. Holy...
¿Qué carajos es eso? ¡No son nuestros aviones! ¡No son nuestros aviones! ¡Prepárense, prepárense! ¡Vamos, vamos, vamos! ¡Prepárense, prepárense!
Okay.
The fact, though, that it's all in Spanish.
Yeah, I don't understand what he's saying, but it's like, you can appreciate that.
I don't understand what he's talking about, but I know what's happening.
Like, okay, yeah, it's Play-Doh, but like, it's put together like you can tell what things are supposed to be, even though it's not like show quality or but it's very that was very good.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Wayne?
If I could understand Spanish, I think I would enjoy it more. But sheer entertainment value.
I feel like my sense of humor is where we really differ between all of us here, because
That's not the slightest bit entertaining to you?
it's I'd swipe it.
I
in
would've
5
giggled
seconds.
at that.
I don't know.
No?
I giggle at like Photoshop pregnant LeBron James.
He'd flop that
Fart
pregnancy
noises
too.
are funny to me. I run a multi-million-dollar company on the weekends, but I laugh at fart jokes still.
Who doesn't laugh at fart jokes?
That's a
Let's
good
be
point.
honest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Especially if you are a male, fart jokes will never
You tell me
not be funny.
your buddy doesn't walk you to the kitchen and absolutely Auschwitz that shit, you're not going to throw a giggle at him?
And I got used to it when Dad would do it. And he would come in and rip the stinkiest, most septic fart known to man, and just go, "Oh, Connor!" And when I'm a kid, I'm like, "Oh, it's fucking gross." And now I'm laughing for like 10 minutes. He's like, "What? What's so funny?"
And then, like, cue our dad, not to embarrass the guy or anything, but somehow
Definitely to embarrass your father.
he would walk into the kitchen, stretch, lift a leg, and lean over a little bit and evacuate like 2 weeks worth of farts.
And then blame somebody else for it. Like, you didn't just do a fucking somersault to get that fart out of you.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely blame my dog when I rip ass. Like if I do just like one of those silent little that just burns your nose hairs. Okay, I blame the dog.
That's reasonable though. But when I'm
Taking
8 or
zero
9.
accountability for fucking up someone else's day.
when I'm 8 or 9 and I don't understand it's a joke, it really pisses you off. It's like, what the fuck, man? Are you serious?
You know damn well
I can't fucking believe this shit.
you just shit your pants, and you think I did it.
Yeah.
You think I shit your pants.
You gotta go get a lawyer now and everything.
No matter what, you lost that case.
Yeah.
You can't represent yourself.
Yep.
Quick segue out. I'm loving that. But a cool point I wanted to touch on.
I think you need to learn the definition of segue.
What we're doing it live.
It's a bike
Fuck it.
with no pedals.
If you won the lottery.
I'm sucking it.
After you won?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep. Hey, man. Gotta do what you gotta do.
That cued my. I feel like you read the next question. What would you do for that amount of money? But you just
No.
heard. What do you do after you win it?
Yep.
I'm already there. What do you want? Like,
It's a win-win.
I don't think. Nope. Just like how I don't understand what a segue is. I don't think you really got the question. But, first 3 things you're doing. You win the lottery. We'll go around the table.
Buying a house.
1,
Buying mom a house.
2. Now, buying and like completely pay it off.
Yeah. Like I'm building it. It's all paid for already.
Okay. 3rd.
Probably invest it.
Okay.
A lot of it.
That's after both house purchases.
After that, well, yeah.
Let's just throw again. We're gonna lean on Steven for this one. Around this, I'm assuming you're putting it over here while I'm doing these, but
I don't know. It's gonna be hard for him to line it up when your hand keeps doing this.
put it somewhere.
Put it right here.
Use your imagination.
Right over here.
Current jackpot for Indiana's Powerball. Would that be able to get us?
What is the current jackpot? I don't know. I don't.
Unaware.
Well, whatever it is, you're gonna get like half of it probably.
Yeah, after taxes.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the tax? 10%?
With the lottery, it's like almost 50%.
I thought it was 25.
Oh god, and with all of the state, local, federal taxes, you're talking it's almost 50%.
After everybody that
Was
didn't.
The dude that won like 7 million got to take home like 3, something like that.
I'd still take 3.
I'd take 3.
I
but
mean,
I'd be
don't get me
fucking
wrong,
pissed.
it's still life-changing money.
I'm mad
still,
with $3 million though.
I'd
So,
still
I
be
mean,
pissed that, you say I won, $5 million and I only get 2.5? Like, 2.5 is still a good chunk of change, but fuck you.
What
Yeah.
do we got, Anna?
The estimated jackpot is $50 million right now. Next drawing is Tuesday, April 22nd, and they estimate the jackpot to be $139 million.
Cool. So if the next episode of this podcast looks way better done than what we've done in my kitchen, you know why.
No,
So
no.
let's say for argument's sake, you said it was 158 that was projected to be after this one.
We're bringing home
we'll say
75?
just a nice, cool, even number for argument's sake, 100.
Sure.
I never understood this, but where the fuck does all the money come from?
All the people putting into it,
Yep. People buying tickets.
That's it?
basically.
Okay. So what if they don't sell any tickets?
See, that's the fun thing. You would think that the less tickets that they would sell, the less money that would go into it. In reality, the less tickets that they sell, they will then fund it because the lottery is put on by the state. So they'll pull money from something else, jack that jackpot up even higher, make it irresistible for the people that have no self-control to purchase even more tickets.
Allegedly.
And then all that money just gets funneled right back in.
I don't know if that's true, but allegedly.
But yeah. So $100 million.
The three things you would.
Okay, so yeah, first and foremost, I would get a house, but I wouldn't pay it everything off. I'd be like, okay, how much is this going to cost? I'd take all of that money, put it into a bank account, let it accrue interest, have it set up to where it auto withdrawals from it. So, it's doing the payment and everything. Whatever's in that account is still building interest after the end of whatever the term is. And hey, look, I still have money in there, mine.
Sure.
Buy a newer, better vehicle.
Sure.
But also, I'm going to lump this together with that one. Take the one that I currently have, completely fix it up, and turn it into my toy.
Okay.
Same for my bike. Okay. And then the third, kind of what you said, invest it. I'd go through and find different things that are up and coming and just start dumping money into them. I mean, obviously, you got like stocks and
Bitcoin,
CDs and like war
Doge.
bonds and stuff like that are pretty much a guaranteed return. But then there's
yeah,
some
dude.
of
I
the
mean,
more
you can get
lucrative stuff.
Like
that
a
you
Roth
can-
IRA too.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking concrete.
But if you get into some of the, take chunks of that and put that into more higher risk things,
Sure.
to where that payout would be freaking phenomenal.
Some Shark Tank shit.
Yeah, but you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket though. So
No.
you'd kind of, okay, some in savings accounts, some in like IRAs, some in CDs and stocks and bonds and all this other stuff, and then go through and okay, now with this little chunk of change, I'm going to do this random shit and see
Absolutely.
what it goes. Donate some of it to charity and all,
Right.
But like,
I'll lay off my three. I am ensuring financial stability for my family, at least till the day I die.
oh yeah.
Right? Whether it be a Roth or I don't know enough about crypto to really roll those dice. Somehow, some way, find a money manager, somebody that can do this way better than I can.
Yeah.
And learn a whole bunch. Obviously, like, you'll splurge a little. Like, my house will be nicer, right? Not
See-
that I don't have one that's nice enough, but it's just one of those, like, it is a luxury item. To have a house is a pretty luxurious thing to begin with, but to have a home is like the all-time luxury.
Yeah, see, my whole thing is where I differ from a lot of people. They're like, oh, I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to get, like, this massive mansion. Hell
Speedboat,
no.
strippers.
No.
Yeah.
My idea, I'm going to have... I don't even care. I'll put a double wide out in a freaking lot somewhere and have 60 acres around me. I ain't going to deal with the neighbors, okay? I don't want this giant-ass house because, first off, that's just more that you have to
Who's gonna
take
clean
care
that?
of.
Yep.
Okay? I'd be happy with, a nice 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, have a nice basement, detached garage, of course, like pole barn.
Yeah.
I can go out there, I can have my car, I can have my bike. If I want to build a forge and start hammering metal, I can, okay? I can do stuff like that. Not worry about waking up my family if I decide at 2 o'clock in the morning.
But
I
I'm
gotta
also
hair
on
my
60
ass or
acres.
something.
So
And I ain't got to worry about neighbors. I can go out on my
Yep.
back deck naked and pee off the side of it and ain't nobody going to say shit.
and
Like,
discharge rounds into the air while I do it. So
it's my idea of a good time.
financial security.
Yeah.
Throw a pretty sizable chunk into an education fund, whether it be for me to go back to school and learn more, or offspring, for lack of a better word, for them to be better than me. And I want to, if I have those tools financially to get you there, I'm going to exhort all of them to
Oh, yeah.
get you that return on not only my investment, but you as well, right? Like, I want you to be blindly fucking successful. Have all the tools to do everything you're going to do, but also be ambitious about it. Third, nice little house, fatter chunk of land, You're buying peace and quiet.
Oh yeah.
And the price tag on that is pretty untouchable. But with going along with what you would do if you won that lottery money, Connor already kind of touched on what you would do for that lottery money.
He was touching something, that's for sure.
Anybody want to take lead on that one, or are we just going to go with Connor's? Jury's out. Connor.
Depends
I was
how
saying-
much
I
the
was gonna-
lottery is worth.
Yeah, it depends.
I'm not hurting
If we're
it.
talking like a 10 grand lottery, I'm not sucking nothing up.
Oh God, what's your price?
Apparently 100 million.
100 million will get it, man.
To
Yeah.
completion.
Oh yeah,
Lord.
No.
I'll do it twice.
On camera?
You sure?
Everybody knows.
Send it to my family.
There you go.
I'm sorry, Mom.
I'll give them 10 grand in restitution fees so they won't have to, they can go therapy afterwards or whatever they gotta do.
I don't know, at some point we could probably afford eye bleach or something, you know.
We don't have to watch it.
Buy one of those little things from Men in Black, you just stare at
Oh
it.
yeah, and just forget all about it.
I'm flashing everyone. Lady at the gas
What you
station.
do on your
Take
weekend
that out of
time, that's up
context.
to
Clip
you.
that right now, please.
Clip that.
You're gonna do what?
He's flashing
And we're not gonna
everybody.
clip I'm sucking it. I mean, come on, bro.
Hey, that could be.
I'm sucking it, I'm flashing everybody, and then you get me walking out with a trench coat.
Good Christ. So our next will be meeting your idols.
Sure you're not going to do your next segue on that one?
No, I decided not to fucking talk anymore.
Tricycle, on to the next.
Meeting an idol. Who would it be? Or who wouldn't it be? Why or why not? Anybody in particular, like maybe celebrity status that you would love to crack a beer with, or
Cody Detweiler.
also otherwise known as?
Whistling Diesel.
There you go. Let's, if for the sake of conversation, look directly into that camera. Get us a picture of Whistling Diesel right next to this cat. Like
Hold on,
it's.
I got one. I can pull it up right now.
Oh shit.
He's been informed of this before.
There we go. Zoom in, zoom in. Punch it, punch it.
Okay, cool. Why?
I've just been watching him for a long time. I feel like that's where a lot of my personality I get now from is stemmed from, like my inspiration for doing my truck.
Okay.
Don't lie, you just want to break shit.
Sometimes that's cool too. It's a cool factor. You know, but basically, you know what he's doing. He made videos of fucking drifting on banana peels, and now he's
Destroying,
10 million subscribers on YouTube. He's fucking
rebuilding killdozers.
dropping Toyotas from helicopters, driving Monster Max in the fucking Gulf of
I'm
America.
convinced he's found every Toyota Hilux that has ever existed at this point and fucking destroyed them.
He likes him. He's going for his squadron trucks.
I wish I had a Hilux.
Good.
These things are cool.
Those things are badass.
Yeah, especially
Sponsored
the
by your local
diesel.
terrorist organization.
Oh, okay. But going off of the whole Hilux thing and actually circling back to a previous conversation point, two things we can do to cripple an entire generation. Go back to manual vehicles and cursive handwriting.
How do you get the manual vehicle? Do you have to sign for it in cursive?
Yeah.
Screwed.
They wouldn't be able to drive it, nor would they be
That's
able
not
to.
true.
Double fuck.
At the dealership, when we got my truck, I typed my name in auto cursive.
That is true.
Those
Everything's
bastards.
fucking everything's, you can't even go to a fucking fast food restaurant anymore without getting one of those goddamn kiosks. If I wanted to take an order at fucking Taco Bell, I would work at Taco Bell.
You gotta
Okay?
tip the kiosk.
And then then they have the audacity to ask you for a fucking tip.
Yeah.
What, for doing your job? No, thank you. I don't even use the self-checkouts at Walmart because if I'm doing somebody else's job, I should get a fucking discount. Thank you very much.
Do you mean the I'm gonna steal section?
And like,
Yeah. Oh, and then you
If you
walk
didn't
up there and
expect
they
me to
ask
steal-
to see your fucking receipt. No, thank you. How about you have somebody checking me out so they can check my receipt?
I'm not impolite enough to walk past the 90-year-old greeter they have.
I'll just say hi and then keep walking. 'Cause
As
what's he
they're-
gonna do? Chase me down with his walker?
As their security force, though, like Walmart's really been lacking on that. Like, you put fucking Father Time at the door? Like, come on. Shit. You walk in and this guy is like 4 times retired.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Walmart.
Most of the
You're
time they don't even
scared.
see you walk in. You walk too fast. It's too quick for them.
Well, yeah, it takes them 10 seconds to blink.
The frame rate in their eyeballs is like 2. So yeah,
I'm saying you, Jimmy.
yeah. Gotta love them.
I just went off on a fucking tangent there.
That was a hot take, my brother.
My bad.
I want to move over to a topic that you two hold pretty near and dear to you. You both ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
So let's get a first and current motorcycle from both of you.
First and current.
First and current.
My first one was a 2008 ZX6R, and my current is a 2021 Harley Davidson Street Bob.
Nice.
I think we can all kind of agree our very first motorcycle was a little Evel Knievel thing where you would just like ramp it up and it would go across the kitchen table. No? Okay, I'm old.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so the first motorcycle I ever bought is still sitting in pieces. I think it's ran once since I've owned it, but I've never ridden it. It is a 81 CB 900 Custom.
Does that count?
Count as what?
The first bike, or do we have to like categorize it like something we've ridden?
I'm categorizing it as the first real motorcycle.
Okay. Yeah, you had a moped at first,
Yep, started off on a DUI mobile.
kicking pit bulls and.
Pitbulls, yeah.
Yeah, but what I currently have, again, I have to get it plated for this year because Indiana weather is like, do I do it or not?
Arrogant ride?
Yeah, I got a 02 V-Star. Nothing special. It's a 650 with an 800 package. So I mean, it'll get up and go quick, but it doesn't go very fast.
Yeah.
Like, going downhill, lying flat on the tank with a tailwind, it's screaming, and I'm hitting 95. Okay.
That's healthy.
Yeah, that's
take it.
That's fifth gear, pegged all the way. It's not going anymore. I'm going downhill with a tailwind. And I'm laying flat on the tank like this. I can't even see where I'm going.
What
95.
what got both of you into motorcycles? What was it a tinker culture? Was it somebody else in your family had one? Was it
Honestly, what I started doing for like getting interested in motorcycles, I mean, I always thought they were cool. Like, honestly, as a kid, you think it's cool. Every time you see a motorcycle, you want somebody to rev it up, But like, honestly, hey, gas is expensive and motorcycles, uses a lot less gas. And
Sure.
That's kind of what got me into it, just as a practicality
an
standpoint. And then
economic kind of
the
decision?
first couple of times that I would actually get out on the road and be like, okay, yeah, I can see why everybody likes this. This is
Yeah.
cool.
I could see
You know?
why like patching in is a thing. for
I
sure.
mean, I wouldn't necessarily go that far.
You haven't watched SOA and thought like,
No, okay. I think everybody who's watched Sons of Anarchy is like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I think that'd be cool.
props to them for throwing real Hell's Angels in there. That was pretty dope.
But like, I wouldn't necessarily want to be part of a club, But like,
For sure.
I've got a handful of friends that ride as well, and every once in a while we'll hit up each other in the group chat on Facebook, be like, hey, what are y'all doing? And
Bro, getting the boys out for a ride.
like, yeah, we've done and we went down to Monticello and did an autism ride last year.
There you go.
That was fun. We did another one for somebody that I actually know. His son passed away from leukemia, and so every year they have a recurring
A memorial ride.
memorial ride.
That's
and
awesome.
They take all of that money and they donate it to leukemia and children's leukemia research.
Nice.
So
That's pretty commendable.
so shout out to Collins Chance to Conquer memorial motorcycle ride they do every year. It's a good time, good people, near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a church in Hebron. I don't remember the name of it, but me and Gabby went there once, and it's like a biker church almost.
That's
Like a
badass.
church, that is
You
kind
go
of
in
cool.
there, they got Harleys in the altar, whatever you want to call
Nice.
it, and
Compressions 314. He who is without oil shall throw the first rod.
yeah,
Like-
yeah, the dude that greeted us was wearing like chaps and a friggin' vest, gave us free shirts, and we did our service and everything, and it was a really cool place.
That's badass.
That
way
is-
to
that is-
cater to a certain demographic.
I'm saying that
is
would
cool.
almost make me want to get back into going to church, but
Yeah.
nah.
That's
Honestly.
the only reason I don't is because I can't ever wake up that early on a freaking Sunday. That's my first day off. And I
Well,
don't-
and then it just the whole church thing is incredibly funny to me with the amount of hypocrisy that is involved with that. You know, they're like, "Oh, love your neighbor and don't judge" or whatever. But the second you show up on a motorcycle in jeans and
Hammered.
riding gear, the second you walk in, they all look at you like
Yeah.
you're the fucking Antichrist.
So I think we
Like,
can all agree there are certain things that we would like to see taken away from organized religion, not necessarily keeping a faith, but it's the subjugation of mass opinion is what it is.
organized religion is the greatest means of controlling a populace.
Yeah,
Like,
ish.
Gabby didn't like it. Like I knew I would like it because I saw the pictures of
Like,
it before we went there,
yeah.
and she didn't like it because she went to like a Christian school when she was a kid, and so she has. I went to her church with her. They have a whole different way of doing it, but when you get there, the first thing they did was like, they have like a good news thing, and it's like people just walk around telling each other good news. Some guy came up to us and said that Jesus saved him from his addiction.
That's
And I was
awesome.
like, that's great, man.
Yeah.
That's great. And she was like, I didn't like it. I didn't like how they did it and how they did their service.
Well, you know what? Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, so
right?
I wasn't
So-
like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
of
fine.
course.
I'll go by myself.
Yeah, badass. Love it. I know we touched on this before we started the pod. Stanley Cup final predictions. We're in the first round. We know Vegas is in it. We know Minnesota's in it. Probably a small handful of other guys that are in it. I know for a fact Winnipeg has had an almost a pretty goddamn strong season. Not super happy about my Hawks going like 22-56 or whatever they did. But we'll throw a prediction out now. Give me a team. I can almost guarantee you they're in the playoffs right now.
Well, okay. My whole thing is, if Vegas is in it, you automatically know they're going to be, if not coming out on top, pretty close, just because they have money to throw.
Oh,
at
definitely
everybody.
third round.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's Vegas. I mean, ever since
They're
they created
great.
that team, they have the amount of money to throw to
Yeah, I mean it's a
get
brand
the
new.
top talent in the entire
I
league.
don't want to say a
so-
brand new team because we've recently had. I mean, it's a rebrand. It's Utah, but it's fucking Arizona Coyotes. Throw us into one. Who would you want to see win the cup?
The Lakers.
All right. We're not going to go to him for very many questions
Philadelphia Lakers.
after that. Apologies in advance if this gets us no Christmas card or mom doesn't call or there's some uncomfortable conversations. A story from your youth that you don't think your mom knows about. Something you think you got away with that she might not know about. I've had a couple.
I'm just trying to figure out which one I should say. Because there's
I
a
don't know.
lot of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
There's
I've
a
never
lot
really
of them,
kept
man.
secrets.
You haven't ridden the bike a little too far. You haven't.
No, 90% of the time I ever did anything I thought I shouldn't do, I would just tell her anyways, because most of the time if I just told her, she'd be like, thanks for telling me, and then I would do it because I told her.
Unbridled support from Krista. We love it.
Yeah, I have died. That's a non-topic for me. I was a good child. I mean, I rode my bike to fucking Hobart. Oh, but like,
How'd you get to Hobart?
the bike trail.
I would say pedal, bike move.
What did you do in Hobart?
I just turned around.
A girl.
Turned around.
No, it was when I was dating Molly. I went there with her.
Gross. If you got one in the chamber, give it to me.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to do.
Here we go.
Nope.
Got it.
The last day of freshman year. The last day of freshman year, I was fried off my ass when you picked me up and took me to Dad's to pick up some clothes. I was on the back of the bus, and one of them sketchy apartment kids back there had a box mod with a questionable liquid inside of it, and I smacked it for a solid 17 consecutive seconds because I didn't feel anything. And then I felt it. And by the time we got to my stop, my ears were ringing and everything looked like TV static. It took me 3 hours to walk from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. I came home I ate 16 oatmeal cream pies. I jerked off 3 times. And then you came home and I acted like I was sleeping. And you took me to Dad's to pick up clothes. And I walked into Dad's house and immediately sat on the recliner and took a nap instead of gathering my belongings like I was supposed to. And that's the whole reason you took me there. And we didn't say anything because you thought I was just tired. Because I stayed up the night prior because I was excited because it was the last day of school. But I was super high. So then I grabbed my stuff and then you brought me back home. And then I fell asleep. I slept off. And you had no idea, you naive person. Yep.
All right, so since we're doing those stories,
I stole a candy bar when I was 11. Jesus Christ.
that's it.
No. God, no. She was a grandma before she knew she was a grandma. God, what else? Ah, okay. So there was a girl that came by the house one night.
No, not you.
Extracurricular activities. We were studying. And
Studying.
I let her out or in through the back of the house, so I didn't wake any of the dogs up or anything like that. And I let her out through the garage. And for some reason, I turned the little doorknob lock when I opened the door, closed the door behind me, walked her out,
Locked yourself out of the house.
get back into the house. Now, my mom is a part of this story because her car was unlocked in the garage. And I was like, you know what? Just nap it off in here. So I can't imagine her maybe panic when she woke up in the morning, couldn't find me, and then found me in the car. So I didn't get super high and jerk off 11 times or anything like that, but
It's alright, man.
that's going to be, we're going to talk about that at Christmas.
Hey, had to come out at some point.
When did you graduate?
22. This was the last
This
day.
is fresh enough for you to get your ass
This
beat
was the
for.
last day of freshman year.
Oh,
I was
okay.
14 years old. That was 6 years ago.
God, you're so young. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be 21 in July. Can finally,
Then we're going to have some more stories that Mom doesn't know about.
hey, I'm a grown man, I'll tell her. I'll be like, hey, Mom, I bought a 6-pack. And that's going to be the extent of how crazy that gets.
I found a claymore. You know what? What's nuts is like our mom's so supportive. She'd be like, "Oh, just be careful."
Okay. Don't play with it.
Are you kidding me? I'd put that motherfucker on a Roomba.
Do you really need that?
Right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna, since I'm, gonna go out on this, I'm gonna implicate my cousin as well. So at my mother's house, there's this crabapple tree. Basically, I think it's supposed to be an apple tree, but it's not been maintained, and I think they only get about this big, and they're just garbage by the time they come off the tree. Well,
Extra chromosome apples.
yeah, there we go. Middle of the summer, I think. School was not in session, but I think we were supposed to be at my grandmother's house. Well, I had just started driving. I guess I've been driving for about a year because I had my second car, that old freaking Mustang that I had. You remember that? I had a 92 Mustang Fox body convertible. It had the 4-banger in it. There wasn't enough power in this thing to spin the tires on gravel-covered ice. And, yeah, it was not a good car.
So things.
But, sorry, we were supposed to be at my grandmother's house, and me, my cousin, I think my sister, drove to my house, sitting in the backyard underneath this apple tree, and made ourselves a device out of one of the apples and a pen.
Oh, nice.
And so as we're sitting there, getting elevated, if you will, one of the apples fell and smacked my cousin in the head. And he looks at me and goes, "Dude, I feel like Sir Isaac Newton." We lost our shit for the next 5 minutes. My mother happens to pull up in the driveway. We have to act like everything's normal. Thankfully, we had the dog out there with us, so we pretended we were playing with the dog, so my mom didn't wonder why we were there. And, yeah. So, hopped in my car, blazed, my eyes were the same color as my car because it was fire engine red, and yeah, took off through the neighborhood completely blazed after laughing hysterically for 10 minutes about my cousin thinking he was Sir Isaac Newton because an apple hit him in the head.
Damn.
Yeah.
I still feel like you're gonna get in trouble.
No.
It's wild.
No.
Absolutely.
What, jerking
insane.
off?
So this took place back in high school, so I'm good, man. That was 20 years
Remember
ago.
that thing you did 6 years ago? Yeah, you're grounded. No.
Like, she's not gonna look at us differently, but she's definitely gonna like when she sees these.
I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. Why would you say that on camera?
No shame.
Fair enough.
Well, why, hey, man, everybody.
Valid point.
Yeah.
Understood. Quick shout out. Some of the stuff we've got on the table. Zero Foxtrot. Thanks for supplying all of the the magnets, poker chips, all the good things. We love our accessories.
Kool-Aid Jammers, please sponsor us.
Honestly, I could use a pallet. Shout out Diligent Defense, Shadow Systems Firearms, Spectacles Knives. I think it's Winchester ammo. Pretty certain about that. But we'll try to have a different centerpiece every episode. That's definitely 220 grain sub. Anyway, on 3 on 3. 1, 2.